and welcome back to my channel. First of all, I'm sitting downstairs in my basement. Hopefully the lighting is okay. Ellie is upstairs sleeping in her crib, so I couldn't record in her room. So I'm down here, so hopefully everything's okay. Yeah, so this video I'm going to talk about the much requested breastfeeding stuff. It's all about the boobies in this video. I got several really good questions from Wilsey Dream Girl. So I'm going to answer a lot of her questions and just talk about my experience with breastfeeding in general. We started out, whenever she was in the hospital, she breastfed like a champ. She latched on perfectly, everything was great. And then we came home from the hospital, and literally the same day that we came home, like, I just forgot how to do it and we stopped breastfeeding. There were a couple of really awful, hard days at home where she was screaming and crying because she was so hungry. So anyway, long story short, I had to start pumping. I have the Medela Pump and Style Advanced, and I think I'm going to do another video talking about how to use it and that kind of thing if y'all are interested. My friend Lisa, hey Lisa, who happened to also give me a whole bunch of information on cloth diapers, so thank you Lisa, here's your shout out. Cloth diaper guru. Anyway, my friend Lisa is Gary had her baby girl Ruby here in a couple weeks, and she's gonna get the Pump and Style Advance, and she wanted me to talk about it. So anyway, that's gonna be a separate video. So anyway, back to the story. Yeah, I had to start pumping when we got home from the hospital and just giving her a bottle. And for 2 weeks, I tried to get her to latch. And we had probably 3 or 4 times in those 2 weeks where she just randomly latched on and breastfed, and it was great. But then, you know, 99% of the time she was getting a bottle of my breast milk. Finally, I decided to go back to make an appointment with the lactation consultant, and she saw how I was breastfeeding, and she was like, oh, I immediately sat down and put her to the boob, and she was like, oh, I know exactly what's wrong already. Like, you don't have to go any further. You are not holding her right to get her in the good position to latch. So basically, what you have to do is, like, hold your boob and, like, not squeeze your nipple, but, like, pinch your nipple a little bit, and then, like, get the baby to, like, open her mouth, and then as soon as she opens her mouth, put her chin on the boob, and then, like, push her on. So what I was doing, I was just like, I should have had like a baby doll or something here to show you what I was doing. I was basically just like pulling out my boob, whipping out my boob and then just shoving her on. And of course she's not gonna take it. That's not how babies do it. So in the beginning, when she's learning how to, you have to like squeeze it a little bit and then do it that way. So so the lactation consultant sat down, and within 30 seconds of me sitting in her office, she latched on perfectly and ate for like 30 minutes. Like, nothing. Like, so all I had to do was just squeeze, you know, a little bit and then put her on. So in that time, that was also before my milk was like in abundance. So another tip that the lactation consultant told me was to, in the beginning, when you're trying to like stimulate your letdown, was hold the baby to your boob and like also squeeze down to try to, like, you know, get the milk to let down, and so it can flow easier, so the baby doesn't have to be working so hard to get it out. So she's still on the boob, like, feeding, and I still have to be, like, squeezing down on my boob to try to, like, squeeze the milk out a little bit, I guess. So that helped us too. But then I only had to start doing that for a couple weeks, because after that point my milk supply would just through the roof, and I didn't have to worry about anything at all. So as soon as she was on, she was, like, drinking milk, and I had to even to this day, I get let down within like a minute, so everything's good. So anyway, I fed her on demand. Even still to this day, I feed her on demand. We don't have any kind of schedule. I'm not like, oh, it's 2 o'clock, I need to go feed the baby for 15 minutes. No, if she's hungry, if she's fussing, and I feel like she's hungry, I'll give her a boob. I mean, if it was me myself, I'm not like, oh, I'm going to eat at 2 o'clock today. I'm going to eat at 5 o'clock today. That's probably good if you're like on a diet, but my baby needs to be gaining weight, not losing weight. So yeah, I just give her whenever she wants. And even if she's just fussy, sometimes she just wants to console herself and pacify herself, so I give her a boob, and that helps a lot. Awesome, my battery's getting ready to die on my freaking camera. Okay, sorry about that, I had to go plug in my camera. Anyway, yeah, I feed her on demand whenever she's hungry or whenever she's really fussy or whenever I'll just give her a boob, whatever. Another question that she had for me was, how often did you pump, and when you started, when did you introduce the bottle? I gave her a bottle basically from the beginning because, like I said, she just couldn't latch right. So once she did get latched, I was so excited that I basically stopped giving her bottles for a long time. We would give her bottles here and there, but then that turned into making bottles and warming bottles and cleaning bottles and sterilizing bottles. Oh, that gets so annoying. I don't know how people like deal with it whenever they're strictly bottle feeding. Like, that really sucks. So I got really lazy and just basically stopped giving her a bottle because it's so easy to be like, oh, you're crying? Here you go. Like, that's just so easy. Joke's on me though, because now she refuses a bottle. We have tried every freaking bottle known to man. So that's another story, but I was so afraid in the beginning of nipple confusion and all that crap that whenever I found out that I had to start pumping and giving her a bottle, like my dreams were crushed, and I was like, she's never going to breastfeed now. The bottle's too easy. She's too used to the bottle now. Like, there's no way. We're 2 weeks in. I should just give up. But I'm so glad I went to a lactation consultant because she took to my breast like a pro, and now she's great, and now she refuses a bottle. So my advice on that situation is don't stop giving bottles. Don't become lazy like me and be like, oh, I don't want to wash bottles. I don't want to sterilize it. This takes 7 years. Just at least like a couple times a week, I would say, just to keep her used to the bottle. Don't do that, because now I literally can't leave her more than an hour. Yesterday I had to drive down to a town that's like 45 minutes away to deal with my school stuff, and Matthew was left with the baby for probably 3 hours, and that was probably like 2.5 hours, and that was the longest that I have been away from her ever. Like, that was the longest. 2.5 hours in 3.5 months. That's the longest I've been away from my baby girl. I love her, but holy cow, I need a break. And yesterday wasn't even a fun break. It was running errands and dealing with bull crap for school. So awful. So yeah, take my advice and don't just randomly stop giving her a bottle, your baby a bottle, or you're going to end up in my situation and never be able to leave for more than an hour. How often did I pump? In the beginning, I pumped around the clock all the time, like probably every 1.5 hours to 2 hours, because that was all she was getting. Like, she wasn't eating my boobie, so in order for her to get any kind of milk or food at all, I had to pump. So probably about every 2 hours around the clock I was pumping. And that probably really did help my supply. I mean, that breast pump is amazing. That's just what worked out for us. And then after she started taking the boob, at that point my supply was already up. So I only pumped whenever, if I thought that she was going to be sleeping a long time and I was like really engorged. Because now my supply has like really just, or my boobs are handling it, so I don't get engorged that much, which is great considering the fact that she sleeps like 12 hours a night, like legit between 11 and 12 hours a night now. She's amazing. So in the mornings I'll wake up and I'm a little bit engorged, and so I usually pump in the mornings now. After I feed her, I'll feed her and then I'll pump. In the beginning, after she started taking a breast, I probably only pumped a couple times a day, and that was not on schedule either. That was just whenever I felt like she was full and she didn't want any more, but my boobs were still full, I just pumped. And I was also trying to get a little bit of a freezer supply, like a freezer stash or whatever, of my milk. So I was trying to pump as much as I could too, without, taking away food that she needed now. But that was until I realized that even frozen milk doesn't last that long. I forget. I think it's like just a couple months, a few months, even if it's frozen. So I kind of, chilled on that, because she won't need frozen milk until, August. So I didn't, or basically even September. So I didn't want to kill myself trying to get a nice stash whenever it might go bad before I even need it. So anyway, as for like tips and tricks that I can tell you all, basically the only tips and tricks I can tell you are just like the ones that everybody already knows. I do think that A lot of skin to skin helped us. Whenever we were in the hospital, we did skin to skin a lot, like a lot. And then whenever we came home, we did it a lot too. Actually, my husband was like insistent on it. He was like, maybe she's not taken to your boob because you didn't do enough skin to skin. I think that you should take off your shirt. I'm like, you just want to see me without my shirt on. You're weird. But we like had a lot of time laying in bed. I mean, of course, I was recovering from my C-section too, but probably the first week that I was home, the majority of the time I was laying in bed with my shirt off, holding the baby. So, I mean, obviously she was naked too, down to her diaper, so that probably helped, even though she didn't, at that point she still wasn't taking my breast. It probably, I mean, you know, skin to skin has so many other benefits anyway, like bonding, like, just, you know, everybody knows all the benefits of skin to skin, so that helped, I think. Hey guys, okay, I sat down to edit this and I forgot to mention one, like, super key part of breastfeeding is the fact that in the beginning, I don't care what they say about the latch or the way that she's latched or whatever, it will hurt. No matter what you do, it'll hurt like yeah, it'll hurt. Yeah. I guess your nipples just have to get toughened up or whatever, because now it feels fine, like it does not bother me at all, but for the first couple weeks, yeah, it was super painful. My nipples were like cracking and bleeding, and it was bad. But once they cracked and once that was all over, it was like my tough skin or whatever came out. I guess they were calloused or something. I don't know. It sounds disgusting to think that your nipples are calloused, but they are a lot tougher now, but it was just the initial, like, getting them tough part that was awful. So, I used lanolin cream religiously. After every feed, I creamed them up, and I actually didn't even like wear a shirt or a bra for like sometimes because it hurt just to have that on there. So I would like lay in bed just when we were doing skin to skin or something like that. I'd have her on one side and have the other side like creamed up. So that's another tip I guess I could tell you. Make sure that you use lanolin cream. They gave me lanolin cream in the hospital to use, but it was absolutely awful. I don't know if it was like some kind of off-brand or cheap crap, but I put it on and like my nipple was already cracked, and I put it on and it was like, it felt like it was on fire. It was like putting alcohol on a cut on your nipple. It was awful. So I also suggest not using the hospital cream. I brought my own purple tube of lanolin, and by I think Lancino, I think that's the brand of it, Lancino lanolin cream. And yeah, definitely bring that, and definitely make sure you have plenty of that. I used it a lot for a couple weeks, and I only used maybe a third of the tube. Like, there's still a lot left, so you don't need a lot of it, but because once your nipples get to that point, you'll be fine. But in the beginning, whenever you're trying to get them toughened up, it helps a lot. So there you go. There's a couple more tips I just thought of. Oh, the right nursing pillow helped. In the beginning, she was too small for the boppy, so I bought the My Breast Friend pillow, and that I think helped a lot because she was tiny. Like, she was 6 pounds 6 ounces when she was born, and then she dropped down to 5 pounds 7 ounces. So because she wasn't eating, so she was a little runt, and I was just so nervous. Like, I thought that I was gonna break her. She was so little. But the My Breast Friend pillow was very supportive, and it held her without me having to hold her. So she could lay on it, and I felt like she was very secure on it. And then, so while she was laying there, I could like position my boob or position her head or just hold her head in a way. I could basically use 2 hands instead of having to hold her with one hand and do everything else with my other hand. So I think that really helped out a lot. The boppy I love now. Now that she's bigger, she can actually lay on the boppy, and it's just really comfortable for both of us. But yeah, I basically use the boppy now instead of the My Breast Friend. But when she was little, the My Breast Friend won for us. But obviously, if you are having any kind of issues, or even if you're not having any issues, make an appointment with your lactation consultant. My consultant was amazing. Like, she gave me her cell phone number. She told me to text her if something was going on the weekend. Like, she was awesome. Even if you're not having any problems, I still think that you should go see your consultant, because she'll be able to give you some kind of tip or trick that I can't tell you, or she watches you breastfeed, and even if your baby's latching on or whatever, she can show you little tricks that would make it easier for you and the baby. Definitely make friends with your lactation consultant. Probably as of today, my #1 tip is to not get your baby too used to your breast that she'll refuse the bottle, because that's my biggest mistake as a mom probably so far is, and it's my fault, like it's totally 100% my fault. You know, after we had established breastfeeding like very well, it is 100% my fault that I did not continue with the bottle, at least, you know, sporadically, because now she absolutely refuses. Like, she'll scream until she's red and blue and purple and pink in the face, and then I give in and give her my breast. We have tried so many different things. Like I said, we've tried me leaving for a few hours. We've tried, I don't know, everything, every bottle. We've tried every holding position. I am starting to get the idea that we're probably going to just have to like drop her off at my mom's house all day and say, I'm sorry. She's going to be screaming, but you just please try to get her to take a bottle, because #1, she needs to be on a bottle soon, because in August, at the end of August, I'm going back to school. So I'm going to be gone all day. And she's going to be too young for solids. And even if she was taking solids, I'm still going to try to keep her on breast milk for a year anyway, at least. She needs to be on it for that reason. I would greatly want her to be on a bottle, because I am getting to the point now where I need a break from her. I need a date with my husband more, because like we went out on a date for our anniversary, and we were just gone long enough to go see a movie and then come right back. And our movie theater is a mile from our house. So we were gone literally as long as it takes to watch a movie and then come straight home, and that's it. I'm getting to the point now where I need a little bit of a break from babyland. So that's probably like my #1 piece of advice, is to don't just stop with the bottle. Don't do it. Don't do it. Alright guys, I guess that's it for now. If you have any more specific questions, I don't know what else to talk about. Somehow I rambled for like a million minutes, so hopefully I'll be able to edit out some of my rambling. But yeah, if you all have any more specific questions, leave them below and I'll get back to you. And yeah, I also wanted to say quickly, thanks so much everybody for all of your ideas for videos. My last video I posted, I needed help with suggestions for, you know, new ideas for videos, and you all were right on the ball with that. So I got a lot of good advice and requests for videos. So thanks guys, and hopefully we'll get back on my schedule. I know I skipped last Monday. So anyway, that's it for this video. Again, please comment below if you have any more specific questions or even tips for me with getting her to take a bottle. So, alright guys, thanks so much. I'll see you on my next video. Bye!